June 9th, 2026. Well, the fiasco of an election in California continues as the mail-in ballots are being counted, and which of course have been mailed out to anybody who's currently registered to vote or at one time was registered to vote, the living and the dead and everything else. As these ballots come in and are slowly being counted, it looks like that the great hope for LA has been crushed and that Spencer Pratt has probably been eliminated, assuming the late vote continues to trend in the direction it is, with being overwhelming from the Democrat candidates. And the more leftist candidate, Rahman, is actually surpassed Pratt and will probably be in the runoff in their jungle primary. And on the governor's race, it's looking like Steve Hinton will survive to come in second and will be able to participate in the November election. Is it the runoff between? So, and of course, there was another Republican candidate that took up a significant number of votes. So when they get together, Hinton could get as high as maybe 40% of the vote in a general election, unless some fiasco hits the Democrats and changes things even more than that. I still tend to doubt that there's any great hope for actually winning in California, but of course, anybody that has any spare cash to contribute to Hinton, that would be worth doing, I guess. I haven't done that yet. I've thought about it. He's asking for as little as $10. The only problem I have is if I do that, is he's going to start sending me snail mail and wasting what little I sent him. If anybody could tell these guys, don't send snail mail, I'd appreciate it. But anyhow, that way you could actually make small contributions and do your little part. But of course, the whole election scheme there is pretty corrupt, to say the least. It's machine politics at its worst. I mean, with all these ballots out there that can be delivered by practically anybody to be counted, and I guess they have until today to actually get them all in. But you're supposed to be postmarked by election day, so we'll see. And of course, you're going to have people, drug addicts that were found on the street that probably voted with some activists getting their vote, and of course the people in nursing homes that are being voted basically by the staff is probably a big group too. So that's the kind of a democracy the Democrats stand for, of course. Mobocracy at its worst. But at any rate, we'll see if there's any real hope for California here. Like I say, maybe a miracle could strike. I mean, after all, it looked like it years ago when Arnold Schwarzenegger won, only to end up turning himself into a Democrat after a referendum didn't work out the way he wanted. Wow, a lot of conviction there. But anyhow, so anyway, we're continuing to watch what's happening. And if you like these videos, please give me a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, or you follow me on Rumble where I post there as well. Yeah, so this lets us know we need to get motivated here. Of course, we have a real threat here of a lot of leftists, and it looks like there really are no moderate Democrats left, really. They may want to be moderate, but they generally tip their hat to the most extreme elements of their party. Of course, Graham Plattner will probably be winning the main Senate race here. For the nomination, and however, I think maybe we can make him to be kind of the face of the Democrat Party here. I mean, he's a lot less attractive than AOC, and I think that would be a good one to work on, and to consider that what we're really dealing with here is a bunch of really crazy people that have gotten crazier. So anyhow, so it goes. But I think we need to, as I always said, fear 2029. When these guys get in, America as we know it will cease to be America as we know it, for a variety of reasons. On the other hand, we have another situation that's showed up here, is that our guy, President Trump, maybe a little bit of problems here. He's with his new Attorney General appointment here, which is the current deputy. because of the fact that two of the senators on the Judiciary Committee are people that, well, one of which has been a Trump enemy for some time, and the other one has just been given a raw deal, and that would be Senator Cornyn. And so this may not be so well. I mean, they may deliberately be looking for a little bit of payback, and it may very well happen. And of course, I never saw any reason to replace the Attorney General anyhow that we had. She was doing a pretty good job, but Trump was frustrated because of what wasn't going to happen. He seemed to always want to do things that have a very low probability of happening, and then get very frustrated with everybody when nobody can make it happen. When anybody could have told him ahead of time, it's probably not going to. And that is, he wants all these revenge prosecutions, but they're often in liberal jurisdictions with liberal judges who just aren't going to participate very well in it. You know, I mean, like the system is really fair, and does he think it is? I mean, he wouldn't have had the things he wants retribution for if it had been fair. And so again, wasting your time on that, and then putting your attorney generalship, up over these issues, and then having the key thing is to have reasonably qualified people in there and stick with them, so you don't have to go back, particularly if the Democrats were to gain additional strength in the fall election. And remember, there's still going to be a few Republicans will be still around, that we have to worry about. Although a lot of them will be gone that we need to worry about, and some of them we've just made our own enemy out of. Now, on the whole Iranian situation, which is ongoing, we had a little bit of a flap there. Apparently, which also shows the problem we've got with this one. It all starts off, in the latest episode is that Hezbollah decided to launch a few attacks on civilian targets in Israel. So Israel, behaving as normal, retaliated against Hezbollah in Beirut. At that point, Iran decided it'd be a good idea to fire some missiles at Israel, which, interesting enough, in this case, were mostly intercepted and didn't do any damage. Israel decided that they would retaliate. Trump didn't want them to retaliate because it might get in the way of his peace negotiations. And so the result is there was a little bit of a flap over that, and then a ceasefire was then reestablished with Trump making some other unkind comments to Israel. But the problem we're going to have going forward is that any of these radical factions could set off something in the future. We could have a great deal in place, hypothetically, and a couple of months from now. And then some terrorist attack sets it all in motion again. And these terrorists are a little bit, a lot prone to do that. To really think that they're going to quit behaving the way they do is kind of dubious. On the other hand, so we'll see what happens. My own opinion is Israel miscalculated into maneuvering us into this whole conflict anyhow, because of the fact that now their options will be limited. And remember, all this activity puts the Republican majority at risk, which is their main supporters in the U.S. So that was probably not as well thought out as it might have been. Anyhow, so that's one of the interesting developments we have here. So we'll see what happens. I guess also Lindsey Graham is up for renomination, or in the primary in South Carolina, and we'll have to see exactly how that one pans out. I hear it's a crowded field, so it's a possibility he will fall below 50% and face a runoff. And I don't know how well who would come in second. I haven't been following it too close, but that's another. Trump has now endorsed Lindsey Graham here, so we'll see how that one plays out. So anyhow, I guess that's the main things I wanted to hit here. I guess later today, I think it's about 2 o'clock Eastern time, supposedly there's going to be, David Grush is supposed to hold some kind of a statement on the steps of the Congress, I suppose supported by the normal UAP people such as Luna and Burleson and Burchett, I guess. And he's supposed to give us some more information about something. Maybe he's got something else through the DOPSA process, perhaps, or I don't know. We don't know what it will be, but I suppose tune into News Nation if you want to see it, because maybe even Fox, but News Nation seems to cover that issue better than anybody. So, and we'll see what he has to say. That will be very notable at any rate. So as always, I'll be posting this on YouTube and Rumble, and the addresses of my social media accounts are in the description below. So all for this time.